Isolated for more than 80 million years, this island harbours unique life found nowhere else on Earth. And I want to share with you the incredible species I encountered while exploring it. This is Madagascar. The plane approaches a destination I've dreamt of exploring for much of my life, and I see the northern Mozambique Channel unfold through the clouds below me, as well as a distant Indian Ocean paradise. As we prepare to land in Madagascar, its red soil, which is high in iron oxide, is clear to see. This gave rise to its other name, the Great Red Island. Upon arriving in the bustling capital of Antananarivo, we meet with our driver and embark on a long, bumpy drive to the southeast. It's here where we aim to explore some of the island's last remaining pristine rainforests. On the way, we stop in Ambatalampi, a town which is renowned for aluminium crafts. Most of the aluminium cooking utensils in the whole of Madagascar are produced here. Producing this is strenuous work for extremely little pay and no personal protective equipment. Madagascar is one of the poorest countries in the world, with the average person earning less than $2 per day. Poverty is one of the main reasons why the majority of Madagascar's forests have disappeared. Tavi, which is also known as slash and burn, is a traditional method of farming where original habitat is cut and burned to be replaced with agriculture. This is a short-term solution for people in need of money, as the ash from the burned vegetation adds nutrients to the soil, providing a productive yield. However, this is temporary, and after 2 or so years, the soil becomes infertile and cannot support plant growth. This means the original habitat struggles to reclaim the land, and it can take decades to do so. That's if the land isn't farmed on again, which is more likely. It appears I may be seeing this in action, as a large blaze travels over the grassy hills as we pass through the Central Highlands. Much of the Malagasy countryside has a stark resemblance to Southeast Asia, with miles and miles of rice paddy fields. This is because the first settlers in Madagascar were of Malaysian and Indonesian origin, making an epic journey across the Indian Ocean. They arrived more than 1,000 years ago and brought rice cultivation with them. Rice has been farmed in Madagascar ever since, and today it's one of the country's most exported crops. After many hours of driving, we begin to see precious native rainforest standing imposingly on the horizon. Eastern Madagascar has a mostly tropical climate due to the warm, humid air of the Indian Ocean being trapped by a spine of mountains running along the length of the island. These rainforests are among the oldest on Earth, where a plethora of species have evolved in isolation and exist nowhere else. As we arrive in Ranomafana National Park, we are met with glorious granite waterfalls and lush vegetation in rainy weather. This Sinorchus lowiana, an endemic orchid, provides a stunning splash of colour. We hire a local guide to take us into the forest for the first time. Ranomafana is a protected area of rugged mountainous forest which was first established in 1991. It later became an UNESCO World Heritage Site, and today it's one of the most important wildlife reserves in Madagascar. It's not long until we spot the agile silhouettes of Madagascar's most famous wild inhabitants. Lemurs, specifically red-bellied lemurs. These chestnut-brown primates are just one of more than 100 lemur species, all of which are only found in Madagascar. Sadly, they are all threatened with extinction to varying degrees. Red-bellied lemurs are able to live in primary and secondary forests in the east at varying altitude. They also feed on a wide range of plant species and will occasionally eat invertebrates. These adaptable traits means they are classed as vulnerable rather than endangered by the IUCN Red List. This species primarily eats fruit, and like other lemurs, it plays an important role in the ecosystem as a seed disperser of unique trees in the forest. The males have distinctive white patches of skin under each eye, with a gingery coloured belly, while the females lack the white patches and have a lighter cream coloured belly. Cooling nearby is this charming little amphibian in his favoured rainy conditions. It appears to be a male Mora Mora climbing frog, which is unique to the rainforests of southeastern Madagascar. He's using this tree hollow to amplify his call through the forest in hope of attracting a mate. Considering he's only around 2 centimeters in length, he's incredibly loud, and his call dominates the ambient sound. Movement in the canopy alerts us to one of the largest lemurs, Milne Edwards sifaka. This species, among many others in Madagascar, was first described by French naturalist and explorer Alfred Grandidier in the 19th century. He named it in honour of another French naturalist, Alphonse Milne Edwards, with whom he collaborated with in his work. These impressive lemurs are high in the canopy and difficult to see, but we hope to get a closer view of them tomorrow in a different part of the forest. It's time to head back to our accommodation as it starts to get dark, but on the way back, we're treated to a brief glimpse of the stunning pitta-like ground roller. And a lengthy view of a Nelacorvi weaverbird pair. The male, with his black face, is gathering nesting material while the female watches on. This is one of 2 endemic weaverbird species living in Madagascar, with the Nelacorvi weaver preferring to live in tropical forests and the Sakalava weaver preferring dry habitats. As night falls, I decide to go for a brief walk along the forest edge, where I see the shining eyes of nocturnal lemurs peering down at me and various invertebrates emerging. This includes a giant African land snail, which is an invasive species and an agricultural pest in Madagascar. Native to eastern mainland Africa, it was introduced more than 200 years ago, mostly by accident through international trade. It lives as a non-native in many other tropical parts of the world too. The frogs of Madagascar are exceptionally diverse, with around 400 described species, and the list continues to grow. The vast majority of them are only found in Madagascar. The Buphus genus is one of the most diverse groups, with nearly 100 species described. They are mostly arboreal, spending much of their time above ground. This is Buphus sibilans, a beautiful species I found at the side of the road. Ranomafana contains over 40,000 hectares of protected forest, including bamboo forest, mostly consisting of Madagascar giant bamboo, which towers over me as we explore. It's here where we hope to see some of Madagascar's rarest lemurs. One of which is the golden bamboo lemur. With an estimated population of just 630 individuals, they are critically endangered and only occur in a small tract of forest in southeastern Madagascar. The bamboo forests of Ranomafana are vital for the survival of this species. They almost exclusively eat bamboo and have the unique ability to digest high levels of cyanide within the plant, which would be lethal to most animals. In this region, it coexists with two other bamboo lemur species, the greater bamboo lemur and the grey bamboo lemur. All of them feed on bamboo, but they avoid competition with one another by preferring to feed on specific parts of the bamboo plant. The golden bamboo lemur prefers fresh shoots, which contain especially high levels of cyanide. Although it's not fully understood how bamboo lemurs prevent poisoning themselves, it's been suggested that they may have an increased quantity and activity of an enzyme called rhodinase in their bodies. Rhodinase converts the highly toxic cyanide ions into less toxic thiocyanate. This is then mostly excreted in urine. Processing such high levels of this powerful toxin requires prolonged naps. Remarkably, the golden bamboo lemur was discovered as recently as the 1980s by Dr. Patricia Wright. Dr. Wright also rediscovered the greater bamboo lemur around the same time, which was thought to be extinct. It's these two discoveries that were key in designating the protected Ranomafana National Park in 1991. I'm excited to say we eventually find the greater bamboo lemur, showing its distinctive white ear tufts and larger size. Interestingly, the greater bamboo lemur occurs in the fossil record more regularly than most lemurs, indicating it was once common. It's been estimated that there could have been 1 million greater bamboo lemurs in Madagascar 90,000 years ago. These lemurs had a much larger distribution back then, when forests were bigger and more connected. An increasing human population and climatic events adversely affected their habitat and contributed to their rapid decline. Their population declined so rigorously that the species was thought to be extinct by the 1950s. Although seeing this greater bamboo lemur is extremely special, it's also a bittersweet moment. This individual we're looking at is known as Simone, and the reason she's famous is very sad indeed. She is the last greater bamboo lemur remaining in Ranomafana National Park. The already small greater bamboo lemur population in Ranomafana started to gradually shrink in 2008, and Simone's family slowly disappeared over the years. Inbreeding may have been a cause of decline, but no one knows for sure. Some emigrated out of the protected area and entered danger zones for bushmeat hunting, while others were likely eaten by predators. The bamboo forest that all bamboo lemurs rely on is also routinely harvested for construction materials, water transport, and more. Even in protected areas, illegal logging and resource exploitation continue to pose serious threats. Simone spent the last few years with her father, who mysteriously disappeared while Ranomafana was closed during the COVID-19 pandemic. When the park reopened, Simone was alone, and in 2022 she was declared the last of her kind in this area. Her closest relatives are approximately 25 kilometers away in a small patch of forest surrounded by agriculture that the lemurs can't cross. Research shows that her behaviour is reasonably normal, but who knows how her mental and emotional well-being has been affected with the lack of social interaction with her own species. In this seemingly hopeless situation, she's been observed socialising with golden bamboo lemurs through behaviours such as playing and grooming to remove parasites. Simone's story is an important one to share, as it's the utmost example of how greater bamboo lemurs are in serious trouble and are currently classed as critically endangered. Like the golden bamboo lemur, it's one of the most endangered primates on Earth. As we move on and hike through this beautiful terrain, I keep my eyes peeled for wildlife that's a little harder to find. The smaller animals of Madagascar are among the most astonishing. Some are incredibly well camouflaged and could easily be missed. The hanging dried leaves in this forest are sometimes more than they seem, and a bit of movement leaves me in disbelief. so it may appear that I'm looking at absolutely nothing here. But right beside me, at the tip of my finger, is one of Madagascar's most incredible species and one of the most cryptic reptiles in the world. This is Uroplatus fantasticus, or the satanic leaf-tailed gecko. It's one of several Uroplatus species in Madagascar, but the fantasticus, in my opinion, has such a unique appearance and so-called satanic due to the horns above its eyes. The way it hangs on by its hind limbs and its leaf-like tail and sways in the breeze just like a leaf. I've never seen anything like it before. Madagascar truly is a unique place. This is one of the main reasons I travelled all this way, to find at least one Uroplatus. The fantasticus is, in my opinion, incredible. I've seen many of them in captivity, but to see them in Ranomafana, this wonderful, wonderful forest, I'm just speechless. It's quite incredible. I have to admit, I would struggle to see this species without the help of guides, and I've walked past so many dead leaves that look just like this lizard. It just makes me wonder how many I've missed. An absolute marvel of nature, if you ask me. So I'm reluctant to leave. This is, without doubt, one of the most incredible species I've seen in the wild. And just to remind you where it is in case you lost it, there's his head. Oh, he just looked at my finger. I can't imagine what early zoologist George Albert Boulanger was thinking when he stumbled across this species in the eastern forests of Madagascar, describing it for the first time in the 19th century. In his notes, he understandably describes it as mythical, and indeed the species name Fantasticus originates from the Greek word fantastikos, translating to something along the lines of built from imagination. Sadly, it's time to leave one of the most amazing reptiles I've seen. During daylight, it will remain cryptic from predators such as birds and snakes. But when night comes, it will abandon its masquerade and move around the forest as it hunts for insects and other invertebrates. Nearby is a very unique bird, hunkered down in its cryptic mossy nest. It's a vanga, a hook-billed vanga to be precise. Most members of the vanga family only occur in Madagascar, with just over 20 species living on the island. The hook-billed vanga is a voracious predator and hunts any small animal it can overpower using its sharply hooked beak. However, here it is showing its more tender side as it broods its eggs on its nest. It's an adaptable bird and occurs in a wide range of habitats throughout Madagascar. As I look up into the canopy, a large familiar figure boasting a white saddle-like marking against dark woolly fur can only be one animal in this area. We meet again with a group of Milne Edwards sifaka, a lemur species which is only found in a small area of forest in southeastern Madagascar. Nearly half of the population resides in the Ranomafana area. The colour of their fur provides excellent camouflage in the dim understory of this forest, and their fur is dense to retain heat in the cool temperatures at high elevation and during rainy spells. As with other lemur species, females are dominant in groups, and it's mostly female Milne Edwards sifakas that care for the young. This female has a youngster who is full of energy and keen to practice its jungle gymnastics. These lemurs are endangered, and with only half of baby Milne Edwards cephalkas surviving their first year, this infant has no idea how important it is for the future of its species. A flash of orange and a high-pitched peeping call alerts us to a special bird. It's a Madagascar pygmy kingfisher. This is one of 2 kingfisher species found in Madagascar, but this one is more elusive due to its preference for living in dense forest rather than wetlands. As the name suggests, it only lives in Madagascar and is about the length of a teaspoon. It hunts a variety of small forest animals, including this peculiar little creature, which dwells in the leaf litter and low vegetation of Madagascar's rainforests.
Walking through Ranomafana can yield some amazing chameleons, and I've just seen this Brucasia chameleon, also known as the brown leaf chameleon. This specific one is Brucasia superciliaris.
The Latin name superciliaris translates to eyebrow, referring to the bony ridges above its eyes. Certain species in the Brucasia genus are among the smallest vertebrates in the world.
The adults of those species can be the width of your thumbnail at adult size, which is quite remarkable.
Superciliaris, however, is one of the larger species, growing up to 10 centimeters in length.
Although small, these chameleons lay really large eggs, usually in 1s or 2s. And they sort of roll them in the leaf litter in the soil rather than bury them like a lot of chameleons do. And as you can see, these guys are very cryptic, unlike some of their cousins which are very vibrant in colour. And this is because they live on the forest floor in the leaf litter. That is just a wonderful animal.
Seeing a wild Brucasia chameleon for the first time is a dream come true, and I make sure it gets to cover before I leave. As the late afternoon approaches, the dappled sunlight begins to turn golden, and we're lucky to notice two almost motionless figures hugging tightly to a tree. Their fur is intricately mottled with varying shades of brown, enabling them to blend into the tree bark seamlessly. I briefly see a pair of large amber eyes peering through the vegetation. We're pleasantly surprised to lock eyes with Perieris's woolly lemur, a species which is usually active at night. Eventually, a young woolly lemur peers out from behind its parent. Babies ride on their mothers' backs until they are strong enough to climb on their own after a few months. In around 2 years' time, this baby will be largely independent. By day, their camouflage is key in remaining unnoticed by predators and avoiding unwanted attention. They spend much of their time resting and occupy seemingly small home ranges of up to 4 acres. This is another species which is unique to the forests of southeastern Madagascar. Not much is known about Perieris's woolly lemur, as they're difficult to observe when active. However, the population in Ranomafana is perhaps the most studied, and future research at the Centerval Bio-Research Station will hopefully reveal new information on this beautiful lemur. Back in the village, I can't help but notice this impressive traveller's palm tree. Its unique fan-like structure collects water at the base of each leaf, which has supposedly been used by travellers of the past, hence the name. It's also been suitably implemented into the logo of the country's main airline, Madagascar Airlines. Traveller's palm produces extravagant bluish flowers, and the nectar attracts birds, insects, and even lemurs which pollinate it. Even though it looks like a palm, it's more closely related to banana plants. Join me next time for more Ranomafana.
Look at him. One of the most bizarre beetles you could hope to see.